And do you believe that anyone can manifest money?
Oh God, yeah. I mean, what happened was I wrote a book. One of the best-selling self-help book of all time is Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. That's right. And it's a really interesting story. He basically was commissioned by a guy called Andrew Carnegie, who was this amazing self-made, fabulously wealthy industrialist, being a multi-billionaire by today's standards. This is about 80, 90 years ago, to go and study his rich colleagues and friends,
Right.
and find out what they had in common. And basically, Think and Grow Rich is a subconscious reprogramming system, right? So yeah. Now, the only thing is, what I find interesting is people who come into lots of money suddenly through inheritance or a lottery win, about 70% of them have got rid of it all within a few years, right? Because they haven't become rich on the inside. And I remember looking at Think and Grow Rich, a great book, but I said, I think I might be able to write something better, more up to date. So I decided I was going to write a book on being rich, and I wanted to meet billionaires who I could model, who I could study. And it was the weirdest thing. As soon as I committed to this, like a few days later, I'm sitting at this dinner party opposite Anita Roddick, the Body Shop founder, self-made billionaire. And I'd always wanted to meet her. I said, Anita, I'm chatting away. I said, I'm doing this thing where she went, I'll do it. I said, I haven't even told you yet. She goes, I don't know. I just got this feeling, whatever it is, fantastic. So I modeled Anita Roddick. I get a call from Richard Branson, said, I'd like you to do this event for me. I said, yeah, certainly. And he said, well, what are you going to charge me? I said, nothing if I can do two things, right? I want to model you. I want to ask you questions about how you come up with a business idea, how you, execute, etc. We went, yeah, you can do that. I said, and look, I'm writing a book on this. Would you be prepared to write the foreword? He said, well, if I like it, I will. And he did, right?
Wow.
And I came into, and actually one of the people I modeled was Sir David Barclay, again, self-made billionaire. He's no longer with us. And he said to me a really interesting thing. He goes, on this journey, Paul, you're going to meet people who are wealthy, but they're not rich. And I said, what do you mean by that? He goes, oh, they're constantly running from poverty, right? And so they never get to enjoy it. It's a great saying by Bob Marley. He said, some people are so poor, all they have is money, right? So I decided I wanted really to model people that I thought I didn't want to create more miserable millionaires, but people who were truly rich. Sure, wealthy, but rich in every sense.